real quick before we hop into the video, this Saturday I am going live. I am streaming NBA 2K20. We are going to do a Detroit Pistons rebuild together. So some of the trades you guys want to happen, or signings, or whatever, I'll be taking some of you guys' suggestions. If they're wrong, I'm not going to do it. But we'll do it as a team and do it together. And also, we are roughly 2 weeks away from the return of the Above the Rim live Detroit Pistons and basketball talk show. So be sure to come back and check that one out. But I've rambled on long enough. Let's hop into the video.
Are you ready?
How's it going? And we have a speculation video today. I've seen a few people talking about it on Twitter and whatnot, and I decided to do a video on it. And that is or could Blake Griffin win, or at least be in the MVP race this year? Obviously, he had a career high all across the board in almost every single individual category last season, and he didn't finish in the MVP voting at all. And there was a time, I want to say like 2013, 2014, he was fourth in MVP voting. That is a tongue twister. And he put up better numbers across the board than that season. The key for Blake Griffin to win the MVP is to be better than an 8 seed, obviously. Westbrook did it as the 6 seed, but it was the first time since Oscar Robertson that someone averaged a triple-double for all 82 games. Blake Griffin is going to have another great season, okay? He is going to put up very similar numbers to last season. And people are going to be like, man, this guy is crazy good. You know, people started to hop on the Pistons bandwagon. They were on and off at all last season because they, were very inconsistent. But Blake Griffin was always consistent with what he was putting up. They're going to have to be probably a top 3 team in the East for Blake Griffin to win an MVP. Can they do that? Of course. The East has a lot of questions. Are they going to? Probably not. I think the 4th seed is probably this team's cap right now. And that's not bad. That's way better than the 8th seed. But realistically, I think that this team is going to be the 6th seed, which is very good. We want to see that progress and that jump. We're not just going to become a 1st seed overnight. This team has put in the building blocks. They have put a great supporting cast around Blake Griffin. They got some shooters now. They got some guys who can help pick up the slack when he needs some rest. We don't just need to put Blake Griffin out there, because last season it was Blake or bust. We had no offense outside of Blake Griffin. Now we brought in some people who can create some offense and help keep the offensive flow going, so that way Blake Griffin can get some rest. I don't think Blake Griffin's going to have to play as many minutes as he did last season. I think that was one of the flaws Dwayne Casey has admitted to, was that he relied on Blake too much, and it wore him down towards the end of the season. You can do the same thing with Derrick Rose. So I think that, Dwayne Casey's first year with Blake Griffin, he's learned a lot. He's learned what Blake can do and what he can't do, and he knows Blake's limits now. Now, obviously, Blake Griffin's not going to want to come out of the game. He's going to want to go in there and play, because he is now this team's leader. This is Blake Griffin's team officially. So Blake Griffin's going to want to win. That is his mindset since being traded from the Clippers to coming here. Is that, in LA, he's gone on record saying this, not verbatim, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but it was all flash cameras, doing dunks and making the highlight reel. Now that he's got his own team, it's about winning and getting a championship. He said his goal is always to get a championship, but now he's matured, he's more focused in getting it. So I don't think Blake Griffin's necessarily chasing the MVP trophy. I think he's more concerned about getting some playoff wins and getting this team in title contention, which I am 125% for. But Blake Griffin is probably the best superstar we have had since Isaiah Thomas. Not knocking him from the 04 Pistons, but he is that good. He's better than anyone that I had on the roster. He's better than Sheet in his prime from the Trailblazers. He is probably Detroit Pistons' best player, individual player, since Isaiah Thomas. I mean, that's facts. I'll be happy to argue that statement with anybody. But this is going to be a fun year, man. I will keep saying it's going to be a fun year, and it absolutely is going to be a fun year. I'm curious to see what this team can do. There should be a lot of Detroit Pistons up for individual races towards the end of the season. Blake Griffin's our best shot at MVP. Drummond's the best shot at Defensive Player of the Year. If he can crank that up and play that a little bit more consistently, and if he can get some more perimeter help. People like Luke Kennard are in the race for most improved. Although if Bruce Brown's starting, I would not be surprised if it's him. But those are your two for most improved. Not saying that these guys are going to win it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying these guys have a chance to get some of those awards. Sekou has a chance to get Rookie of the Year depending on how many more minutes he can get. Derrick Rose is probably the best candidate to win something as the Sixth Man of the Year. So when you have players on your team that are up for awards like that, it's going to be a fun season. Not saying anyone's going to get any of these awards, but those are our best chances of winning one of those awards. But personally, I don't care about any of those. I don't care about all NBA or all defense or whatever. It's cool to get players on that and get some recognition. But at this point in time, I'm ready to make some noise and win some playoff games and get this back on track. But leave it down in the comments. Do you guys think Blake Griffin can win an MVP next year? Because his time is slowly expiring on winning one. So leave that down in the comments. Instagram, Twitter, in the description. And also in the description, all links to all DSA members are in there as well. So be sure to check all those fellas out. And I'll see you peeps tomorrow.